My name is Lynette Crane. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my story to tell you why I think I can teach other people social skills. Believe me, they were very hard won in my case. It was very important that I learn them. It's taken me decades, so I'm sharing this wisdom with you today. And I think I'll tell you at the onset that if you want more information, I'll be giving you some ideas about where you can get more information, should you want more after the end of the class. So welcome to the secret sauce of over-the-top success. And believe me, so I talk about social confidence skills because that's what they are. It's a series of skills that you can learn that will help you feel more confident and at the same time help other people around you feel more confident. And that's the idea. I was shy for decades, and now I'm a public speaker. I had to learn how to be confident. I had to learn how to present myself. It was not easy. And I began to realize that people don't know what to do and say. They don't get lessons in it. So I started teaching another class that I call the psychology of shyness and self-esteem. And I learned an important lesson. If you apologize nicely and then roll on without being too uncomfortable, people forgive you and forget about it. If you withdraw like a turtle into your shell, thinking, oh, if I've done something terrible, they're going to think I'm a clumsy jerk, then they will become uncomfortable and they will back off from you. So it's all about being comfortable and helping others. Now, as I said when some of you came in, my short-term memory has a certain amount of memory for names, and I start breaking down. Is it David?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm David Jolovan. I actually just graduated from law school and now moved up from LA to the Bay Area and starting to network more. So I thought that, big networking events, I sort of have the same social anxiety you're talking about where, where there's groups of people, it's hard to get in and start a conversation with people, so I thought this would be helpful just as a, refresher, all that. So.
Yeah, and that can be very painful, I know, so I've done a lot on that. Okay, thank you.
My name is Ben, and I was attracted to the over-the-top success. That's something that I'm in search of. I'm also trying to start my own practice as well, and looking to develop networking skills.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you, Ben.
My name is Owen Rescher.
Now, I read the internet a lot. I look at forums because there are forums for job seekers, for entrepreneurs, and for introverts. And very frequently I run across people saying, somewhat cynically, well, it's just who you know. Yeah, it is who you know. And it's who knows you and who likes and trusts you. They can't just know you, they need to like and trust you, and that's what we need to develop.
Reach out to you again.
I'm going to put opportunity up here because one of the things, I worked with a woman who counsels people who are in a job search, and she said almost none of the good jobs are listed any place. They come through networking, they come through who you know. So opportunities, that.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah.
I like I said, I just moved up here.
Make a lot of connections or to find a really valuable connection. So
yeah.
People you touch, the more likely you're going to make the
okay.
synapses that really matter.
More chances, maybe. Anything else? I think right now you're focusing on networking outside of an organization, but you need to network within an organization. I reached someone and she breathlessly called me. She said, I'm so glad you kept following up. I knew you emailed me and you sent me a letter, and I've been so busy and I had a project and then I went on vacation and then I couldn't find where I put it. Thank you so much. And we had an appointment. So in the busy world we have today, following up is not imposing on people, and I hope you can convince yourself of that. Okay? So let's get back. If I forget, remind me at the end to talk to you a little bit about how you can follow up so that it's not imposing and people will thank you. Okay, very good. Anything else? Yes.
Failure or inability. People can't stop talking about it.
So knowing who you are is a big part of social confidence. I'm not going to pause now, but I'll ask you as an outside exercise to think about who am I and what do I really want people to know about me, about my values, about the causes I support, about the interesting things that have happened in my background that make me who I am and not some other person who do this. A lot of highly educated people do this. It amazes me that people don't know how to hold conversations. And that's one reason when I talked about you meet people everywhere is try it on them. They're not an opportunity that you wish you would get that they're going to offer you a job. They're just cutting your hair, which you're practicing.
What you do is astounding. And so I think so many people do not have any extensive conversation.
Absolutely.
What are you supposed to do?
We won't demonize the law profession, but yes, I know what you can. And at that table at the Humphrey Institute, when it fell silent, here was my opportunity. Now, this was early on, and I was really getting kind of annoyed. But I could have said, would you like to hear what I do? And then launched into it. And that's what you need to do sometimes, take charge. After all, they kind of owe you. You listened, you brought them out, you've given them a chance to display themselves and their talents and things. And here's what I do. Take charge. I give webinars. I have a variety of topics. One of them is called Discover How Other People Misunderstand You. You know, we all misunderstand one another, and as a consequence, we don't know how to be rewarding to one another. We don't know that we threaten other people. The quietest, humblest person is astonished to find out that there's somebody somewhere in their immediate environment that is scared to death of them. We all scare somebody somewhere. Finding that out, finding how to reward people, how to communicate with them. I do put out a twice a month e-zine, and it's not advertising. It's a genuinely thoughtful article with information that will further you as you work towards your goals. I don't spam you. I'm the only one who puts out the email, and believe me, I don't have time to spam you with a lot of advertisements. I will let you know if I have anything like a webinar available because we're at a distance. I do occasionally give free introductory sessions you might be interested in. And if you, on the papers, you will see it allows you to ask a question. And if you write a question in there and give me your contact information, I will think about it and answer you. The last time I gave a talk a week or so ago, people put some very provocative questions in, and one or two didn't give me any contact information. And I was very frustrated because I really wanted to provide that information. If after this session you have questions and they come to you, the wit on the staircase is what the French call it, email me. You've got my email, and email me, and I will try to answer the question. Okay? There are those who believe, if somebody's doing their job, why should I compliment them? Because we expect that. They've got to. Well, I say thank you and be rewarded to everybody. The people who just say, well, I expected that, don't get very much out of life. Now, you need to know what rewards people. So here's a little bit of a tidbit from Discover How Other People Misunderstand You. I first learned this system, what I call people reading, in the 1980s. And I had met somebody, I was doing some business with him, but I also really liked him and wanted to connect. Well, I couldn't figure out why we couldn't connect. He always seemed to be, he liked me, he was enthusiastic, but he never wanted to do anything social. So I decided to be clever and subtle. And I put an article on his desk, about how all work and no play makes Jack undermines your health. I was a stress expert. This was very subtle. And things like that. And he just kept turning down invitations. I learned this system of what I call people reading. And I realized, the next time I spoke to him, I said, Ross, the one thing I really appreciate about you is that I can ask you a question, and you'll give me an answer that is so good that I don't have to check it. I can go out and quote you with no fear that I will be challenged. That was the way he wanted to be rewarded. He didn't want me to try to make him into a social butterfly and then compliment him, because he was never going to be a social butterfly. A few weeks later, my alumni group was having a special dinner at which George Shultz, the Secretary of State, was going to be a speaker. I knew that Ross really liked George Shultz. So I just hesitantly called him and said, Ross, I know you don't like to go out in the evening, but we're having this dinner, and George Shultz is going to be the speaker. Would you like to come? Yes. He came. We had dinner. Now, several of us were going to, it was in the Fairmont Hotel, we were going to go down to Mason's, where a friend of mine was playing piano at the time. And I said, several of us are going to go down and have drinks to hear some music. Would you like to join us? Thinking he would say no. Yes. He sat there nodding delightedly and enjoying the evening and being relaxed. And we went to drive our separate cars home. And he put his arms around me, gave me a great big hug, and he said, "Thanks so much, that was really fun. Let's do this more often." Do you see the power of understanding what other people need and supplying them with it if you can do it honestly? And I was honest. Then it feels